Hello, my name is Ioana, and today I'm going to be presenting week number 5 assignment about the regression technique. So, after performing this technique, I analyzed the group cohesiveness and the factors that affect it. So, as we know, in a regression analysis, there are independent variables and dependent variables. In this case, the dependent variable is represented by the group cohesiveness, and the independent variable is represented by group size, diversity, group identity and health competition, and success. So on slide number 2, we can see the level of group cohesiveness as a group perceived by the employees. So we can see that the R square is 14%. That means that only 14% of the group cohesiveness is represented by those independent factors. So, of course, if the R square is higher, that's a better scenario. I also looked at the participation, conformity, and accomplishment factors. And for all three, the regression model explained about less than 1% variation of level for group cohesiveness. So moving on and looking at the p-value, if that number is low, that means that factor is an important addition to the model. So in this particular case, only the group size was significant. And for the three factors, conformity, participation, and accomplishment, the F, significance F, if that is greater than 5, that means that we should choose the other independent variables. So now let's take a look on the same slide at the coefficients. So as we can see, the group size and the success, they are both positive numbers. So that means that if the group size and the success, let's say an employee is successful at their task, then the group cohesiveness increases. Diversity is represented by a negative number, and that tells us that if the diversity is not being managed well, then the group cohesiveness is going to decrease. Okay, let's move on to the third slide, group second, third, fourth. So how much? 25%. R squared is 25%, which means that that's the variance in the group cohesiveness. So overall, the regression model is significant, P is less than 0.05. The regression model explains about 10% of the variation of the group cohesiveness for the level of participation, and less than 1% for both conformity and accomplishment. In Excel, I analyzed, and actually the conformity and accomplishment were not significant. P was greater than 0.05. After analyzing, as we can see in the slide number 3, the overall group second, third, and fourth is acceptable. We can see there that the p-value is smaller than 0.05, and the most significant impact for the group cohesiveness is represented by success and effectively managed diversity. The group size and the group identity and health do not have a significant impact. Okay, move on to slide number 4, groups 4, 5, and 6. Oh, actually should be 5, 6, and 7. Yeah. The variables account for 12% in the group cohesiveness because the R square is 12%. The overall regression model is significant. F equals 3.499. P is less than 0.05. So after analyzing the data, we can see that the group is acceptable as the F value is smaller than 0.05. Also, when we look at the p-value, right at the bottom, we can see that, success is the factor that has a significant impact for the group cohesiveness, but group size, effect diversity, group identity, and health competition don't have a significant impact. Moving on to the 8th and 9th group on the 5th slide. These variables account for 22% of the group cohesiveness, and the overall regression model is significant. F equals 3.087, P is less than 0.05. I also ran the regression for the factors, participation, conformity, and accomplishment, and those were all not significant as F is greater than 0.05, which is greater than alpha. 0.05 is alpha. Okay, so overall the group is acceptable. We can see that F value is smaller than 0.05. The success in group identity and health competition is significant for the group cohesiveness. But in conclusion, I do believe that we should run another regression technique for the other independent variables, since those ones were not significant. Also, the overall group cohesiveness was 14%, and the groups that are more cohesive were the groups group 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and group 8th and 9th. So as an action plan, group 5th, 6th, 7th, their cohesiveness is to be improved. And I would also run another survey with other independent variables to see what aspects of the group we need to improve, because as we can see in this survey, the group size, the success of the group, and the group identity were the most important along all the groups. And you can see that in the Excel where I analyzed each group and each factor of the group as well. So many of them were not significant. So for sure I should go ahead and run in the more regression technique for another independent variables, or basically just have another questions that are more representative for the employees. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed my presentation.